Happy Saturday. I love Saturdays, y'all. I absolutely love Saturdays because I love to share what I'm learning and what I have learned in real time. And I'm just excited about this day. Today is going to be a long day for me. But nevertheless, I'm just excited to learn, to grow, to evolve, to thrive. I'm just excited about life. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share. I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to grow. I'm just excited. So I want to talk about, this morning, I want to talk about healing. I want to talk about healing and self-work. Healing and self-work. You got to do your work. You got to do it. In order to live a thriving, fulfilling life, you got to do your work. I was watching a sermon the other day, and the way he broke it down, I was like, oh my goodness. So you have the wound, you have the bloodline, you have you, and you have the promise. You have the wound, you have the bloodline, you have you have your promise. A lot of stuff that we are and have dealt with were passed down to us from generations, right? That's why it's so important for us to heal and do our work. Because we are dealing with a genetic pain, the type of pain that we didn't pick. This pain, we didn't pick it. We didn't pick this pain. And a lot of us don't even know that we're walking around with the pain. So we're born, right, through our parents, and we are given a template. So our template is what? Basically what we saw growing up, basically what they experienced growing up, right? And we live our lives, we walk around with this template. I'm like, so pretend that this is the template. This is the template. Your template could have rejection. Your template could have hurt. Your template could have abuse. Your template could have molestation. Your template could have rape. And I'm not saying it happened to you, but it might have happened in your bloodline, right? We have the wounds. We have the bloodline. We have you and the promise. That's why it's so important for you to do your work, right? We didn't ask for this stuff. We didn't ask for this pain. I didn't ask for this pain. I didn't ask for it. But I sure as hell don't want to keep passing it down to my kids, their kids, their kids, their kids. I don't want to keep passing it down. So I'm here to share some things that I've learned about this, okay? So when it comes to genetic pain, like I said, it's the pain that we didn't pick. Stuck at the moment of offense, holding on to the old pain, not realizing you survived it. Time doesn't and ain't going to stop because you're in your feelings. A grudge will make you walk backwards. Excuse me. And a lot of us are walking backwards and we don't even know it. We're walking around with that template that we did not create. That's why it's so important for you to heal so you can rephrase your template. Okay, because what does not get addressed, it continues to continue. It's important for us to be aware of these things so we can change it. It's up to us to change it. No, it wasn't our fault, the things that happened to us. The things that happened to us was not our fault. Wounds, the bloodline in you. We can't change the bloodline. The bloodline is the bloodline. I can't change who my daddy is. I can't change who my mama is. I can't change that. All I can do is do my work from here on out. It starts with me. Okay? So let me get into it. Okay. So a cup with a crack will never experience overflow. That's why it's important to heal. A cup with a crack will never experience overflow. Let me get to, okay. So, pain. If I didn't have the pain, I don't know where I would be. If I did not have the pain that I experienced, I would not be here. I can promise you that I would not be doing this had I not experienced that pain. The purpose of the pain. Don't miss the lesson of the pain. People are in pain. What do they do with that pain? Pain is not permanent. Hurt people hurt people. That does not make it right, okay? We can't end and break the cycle. We don't want to pass this pain down to our children. And I know I passed pain down. I know I did. Because I didn't know what I didn't know now. But new information requires new decisions. All right. Pain speaks. Will you listen? The pain is speaking to you. The condition of our hearts determine the capacity to hear. A lot of times when I'm sharing things and helping people, they can't hear it. They can't receive it because the pain is so full. The pain has them engulfed, and it feels like I'm criticizing them. It feels like I'm picking their wounds, okay? Because they're areas that need to be healed. A lot of times when somebody triggers you, you're ready to attack them, and it's not about them. It's about your wounds. It's about the unaddressed trauma. It's about the things that you don't talk about. That's why it feels like they talking about me, who they think they is. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It ain't about them. It's about you. The trigger is an indication for an investigation. So it's like a check engine light. When I find myself triggered, I say, oh, let me check in. Like, what's going on here? Why do I feel like this? What have I not addressed? And it may not be your stuff. It may be stuff that was passed down through the bloodline, okay? And a lot of times we don't realize that. Like, you could be pregnant, dealing with all kind of hell and turmoil, and then you have your baby's born, and now you're like, well, I don't know, my baby acting kind of weird. My baby this, my baby that. Your baby, this stuff can be passed down. That's why it's so important for us to heal. I knew I was so hurt when I was pregnant. I was just miserable when I was pregnant. I could not stand the father. I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? I don't even know this person. Like, what is going on? So I know I passed stuff down unknowingly. I didn't know that stuff then, but I know it now, okay? Ignoring the pain leads to surgery. You know, if you got a pain, right, a lot of times people get these little cortisone shots, and all they're doing is numbing the pain, because eventually you're going to have to get that surgery, or you're going to just keep getting them shots. It's up to you. So ignoring the pain can lead to surgery, okay? What are some things that can prevent us from healing and hearing God's voice? The lack of trust, not being forgiving, not knowing and understanding if we're hearing from God, grudge pain, treasures the pain of God, purpose, promise, possibilities, right? Purpose, promise, possibilities. I'm not sure why I wrote that down, but it just felt good in the moment. The grasshopper determines if you try or how you try. The fight that you're fighting is not the giant out there, but it's the grasshopper in you. Good morning from Houston. Get out of your own head. So the genetic pain, there's no pain like family pain. There's no pain like family pain. So you have parents, right? You have absent parents. You have abusive parents. You have sibling rivalry, sibling jealousy. Based on how you nurture the two can combine. What are you killing in your family because you can't get over your rivalry, right? And there were some times growing up, I felt like me and my sister was in that place. I never said that, never verbalized that, but I was like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Like, why? I just feel like sometimes she didn't even like me. And I was just like, what? Did I do something? And we never talked about this, but I just always felt that. And I know it wasn't true, but it's like, that's just what I felt. And so when I read that, I thought about that, and that just came to my memory. So we have children, we have the rebellious child, we have the deceptive child. When you love them, but they just hurt you so bad, have you been an absent or not present? Ask your children, what type of parent have you been? And I asked my child that, and I was like, have I been a good parent? And he was like, yeah, you're a good parent. I was like, could I have done anything better? And when I said, you ask these questions, be ready, be able, have the capacity and the compassion to receive the answer. Because sometimes I know as a parent growing up, I was not always present because I was out here trying to be married. I wanted to be somebody's wife. That was my whole goal. I was dating. I was a serial dater. I could not be alone. But it leads back to the womb, right? The reason for all of that was the womb, was the father womb. For me, it was my father womb, right? So I longed to be in a relationship, and I would just accept anything and everybody just to not be alone. I didn't realize that. Like, I couldn't be alone with myself because, number one, I didn't know who I was. So I would get into these relationships and to try to fix and save people because that was distraction for me. Didn't know it at the time. I just didn't know me. So I was scared as hell to be alone with me. Like, no, I won't be alone. I can't be alone. And so I would literally constantly date people, placeholders. I knew they had time limits, but they knew they had time limits. But I was like, they just here till something better come along because I couldn't be alone. Okay, I'm in your business, girl. Look here, I've been there, done that. I'm just speaking. I'm just speaking from experience. I see this stuff. I know this stuff because I live this stuff. That's why it's so important for us to heal. Okay. All right. Okay. So what else? I can't be in control of how you receive it. So when I'm sharing information, I know I can't be in control of how the other person receives it. I cannot. I had to work on myself because the feedback I was getting was like, woo. And I knew it wasn't about me. You say things, you post things, and people are triggered, and then they just go off in the comments, and you just like, what's wrong with them? Like, what's going on? It ain't even about you. It's about them. It's like shining a light in that place where they were hidden, right? So many of our pains in our families can be fixed if we learn how they need to be communicated to. Because a lot of times we don't know how to communicate, right? We get to this point and we just stop talking. I ain't gonna talk to them. And then I'll just like, as soon as, I feel like I've gotten over it, they probably gotten over it. We just talk like nothing ever happened. In our family, we did not know how to communicate. We did not know how to have hard conversations. We did not know how to have confrontation. I saw them play love takeaway. So in my relationships, what did I do? I played love takeaway because that's what I saw. You will do what you see. Okay. You can tell your kids all day long, but they're going to do what they see you do. All right. So that's why it's important to heal. It's very important to heal. Genetic pain. Don't be so busy hating them that you become them. Don't be so busy hating them that you become them. Heal before you become them. If it runs in the family, it's possibly running after you. You must stay focused. Okay. So I'm going to go into a little bit of the father wound. This could be a father wound. This could be a mother wound. A wound is a wound. Okay. If the truth sets you free, the lies will hold you hostage. When your calling is not normal, your warfare and your process won't be either. Okay. Unchecked wounds will have bruises on your heart. How many people will have to pay the subscription fee for your paranoia because of your trauma you haven't dealt with? In my relationships, I did not trust. And I thought I had to do all these extra things for people to stay and not leave because of my issues I already had. Like I said, let me go back to the chart. So you have the wounds, you have the bloodlines, you have you, and you have your promise. The wounds, okay, I was carrying them. Didn't know I was carrying them. They was in my bloodline, right? And so that was my template. Your template is the things you saw in life growing up. Right? Then not even your template. We got templates that do not belong to us. They were given to us and we're walking around with these templates. You're dating these templates. You're marrying these templates. This is what we're doing, right? That's why it's so important for us to do our work. It's so important for you to get your help. It's so important for you to talk to somebody. It's so important to do your work. And yes, it's uncomfortable. It is. It's uncomfortable. Every time that I have to get coached or in a client session, it's uncomfortable. It's not comfortable. But guess what? I feel so much better when I talk about it. I feel so much better when I get the tools and techniques. So going forward, I can do it differently. We get to get the help that we need. Your great-great-grandmama, your great-great-aunt, your great-great, they're not coming back to help and fix and save you. It's up to us, right? Genetic pain, generational curses. That's up to us. That's up to us to do it differently. If not, we'll continue the toxic wounds. The bloodline will continue. We get to change it though. It didn't start with us, but it sure can end with us. But we have to be aware. I'm here to bring awareness to this. Things we don't know. You don't know what you don't know. But new information equals new decisions. All right. Where was I? Father wounds, generational bacteria. When our father broke our hearts before a man ever did, right? Fasting strengthens your no, and cycles are indicators of internal holes. I was in cycles. I was like, I am tired of the story ending the same. Like, what's going on? And it wasn't even what's wrong with them. No, what's wrong with me? Because this is my template. I can't fix anybody else's template. You can only fix yours. You can only reframe yours. You can only heal your template. You can only change your template. You can't change another person's template. But I would go throughout life thinking I can change somebody's templates. Like, oh, they got a bad template. I need to fix them. I need to rescue them. I need to save them. Oh no, do it like this. Oh no, dress like this. Oh no, come to church with me. Oh no, do this, pray with me. You can't change another person. You can barely change yourself. You know how hard it was for me to change? Imagine trying to change somebody else. Get somebody else to do it. I can't do it. I'm not God. What's not healed properly cannot be reflected accurately. Thank you. Biblical love should be first, but seen in the home, right? Biblical love should be first experienced in the home. More is caught than taught. Households come with templates, okay? Households come with templates. We walk with the template, making decisions with the template, marrying people with the template. Wounds from toes in bloodlines, right? So we was down the bloodline. You know how when you go through a toll, you got to pay. If you don't, they're going to send you a letter in the mail. Believe me, I know. So if you go through a toll and you don't pay, they going to send you a ticket. Okay, you got to pay this money because you went through this toll. It costs. That's why it's so important to heal. We got to heal that. It's you. In order to get to that promise, you got to do your work. You got to heal. It all starts with us. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody coming to rescue you. Sit and wait if you want to. You got to be proactive in your healing. It's up to you. That's why I read books. I have coaches. I have counselors. Videos. I'm always learning. I'm always working on me. The work is never done. It's personal development, not personal done development. It is continual work. It's continual work. It all starts with us. Mama ain't coming to save you. Daddy ain't coming to save you. Great grandma ain't coming to save you. No, the person that hurt you is not coming to save you. They're not coming to put those pieces back together again. Because first of all, you're whole. You're complete. With or without a person, right? You are. One is a complete number. We're looking for another person to complete us, and we're already complete. That's the biggest lesson I've learned. I learned, in this process. I was looking for somebody to complete me, and I was already complete. But see, my template, the template that I was given, didn't reflect that. The template that I was given didn't reflect that. So I had to do my work. I couldn't wait. It wasn't up for somebody else to come do that. Is you gonna come say you sorry? Is you gonna come if we gonna work it out? It's not gonna change nothing. Nothing changes if nothing changes. It's up to you. It's up to you. We gotta have wound awareness. You can't close a door that you don't know is open. You gotta have wound awareness. And allow Abba, the Father, to heal the wound and vow to stop the cycle. The cycle had to stop with me. The cycle has to stop with you. You don't want your children to continue to go through the hell you went through. And you got this information. You have these resources. The resources are available. It's available for all of us. But we got to want the help. And you can't help people that don't want help. You can't help the people that don't want help. You can't help people that don't want help from you. You can't help people that are not ready, right? So spiritual needs will never be fulfilled with natural remedies. You can drink all you want. You can smoke all the weed all you want. But baby, when you sober back up, the problems are still the problems. You can't drink it away. You can't sex it away. Believe me, I tried it. Doesn't work. It doesn't work, okay? Newsflash, it does not work. Provision, protection, attention. God heals us from any wound, but we have to take it to him. We got to take it to him. Okay? And you got to get the help you need. You got to get the help. It all starts with us. It all starts with us. And I'm going to share this book with you that really helped me along this journey that I'm still on, right? I ain't done. I'm still doing my work. And so the name of this book is Why Am I Like This? And it's by Kobe Campbell. Campbell? I can't say her last name. How to Break Cycles and Heal from Trauma and Restore Your Faith. So I want to read something. I want to read just a little something out of this book. And then it's available on Amazon, Books A Million, and other places. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Okay, so trauma is also, okay, no, let me start at the beginning. The word trauma in Greek simply translates to the word wound. Nowadays, when we hear the word trauma, we think of sexual abuse, domestic violence, soldiers at war, natural disasters, and death, all of which are trauma but don't fully encompass the vast experience that also fit under the definition. Trauma is also bullying, being embarrassed by a partner, betrayal from a friend, or physical or emotional abandonment by a parent, financial insecurity, religious fear-mongering, verbal abuse, rejection from your kids, psychological abuse, loneliness in marriage, a difficult birthing experience, being dismissed at work, and so much more. Trauma is any moment or series of moments that have a lasting negative effects on our physical and emotional, spiritual, mental, relational, financial, and or social being. Although both bullying and sexual abuse are examples of trauma, we often try to put one above the other. But we can't and shouldn't. They both wound deeply. They both shape our identity. They distort our perception of ourselves, our reality, and the God who created it. This is a reality that I see in many clients I serve. A reality that leads to questions like, how do I stop pretending? How do I stop retreating? How do I share my feelings? How do I express my pain and feel okay when people are upset? The answer to all of these is that you address your trauma. You must address your trauma. You want to heal it, you got to address it. You have to address it. And it's uncomfortable and it's ugly. But you have to address it. That's how you heal it. I would not be here had I not addressed the issues that I was having in my life. Would not be here had I not addressed the abandonment issues. Had I not forgiven myself and start doing my work. It all starts with us doing our work. And this is from she's a trauma therapist. Yep. And I don't know. This book is really helping you understand, why are you like this? Why am I like this? Right? What happened to me? What happened in my bloodline that I'm not aware of? What are the just look at your life. Like, look at the repeated cycles that are happening, right? That was the first identification for me, was stuff that was kept being repeated. I'm like, I'm sick of this right here. I want the end to change. Okay, so the name of the book is Why Am I Like This? And it's by Kobe Campbell. How to Break Cycles and Heal from Trauma and Restore Your Faith. So, if you can't take a screenshot, right, take a screenshot so you can get it. And it's about how trauma affects the sense of self and identity, and what to do with the pain that we've been carrying for so long, and how trauma affects our perspective of faith, and how to make room for God's tenderness in our everyday process of healing. So yeah, it's an amazing book that actually helped me to help others. It not only helped me, it helps me to help others because I'm able to understand it, right? A lot of times when I'm talking to people, I'm like, I wonder what happened to them. That's where I go with, right? When I'm counseling, I'm always thinking about what happened, right? Because it's never about the stuff the surface stuff. They like, oh, so I can't, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, so tell me more. You just keep on asking. It's like an onion, right? You constantly peeling back, and you're going to cry. Those layers are going to make you cry. And it's okay, because tears are liquid prayers. Tears are release. It's okay to cry, whether you're a man or woman, okay? It's okay to cry. So it's like peeling back an onion. You peel back layer after layer, and you get down to the root of it, right? You got to get to the root of it in order to pull that root up and plant new seeds, right? I had to do my work. All right. I had to work with somebody to help me pull those roots up so I can plant new seeds, because I wanted a new outcome. And it all starts with me. Okay. Well, you know what? I've gotten myself as far as I could by myself. Right. So I need support. I need to talk to somebody. Right. Because I'm sick and tired of these cycles. I'm sick and tired of the outcome always being the same. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And it changes you. You have to go first. I had to go first. And because of me going first, I have this information. I have the skills. I have the tools. I have the knowledge. And I'm continuing to get the knowledge, to get the skills, to get the tools. I'm in school. I'm in my master's program now, and I'm for a counselor. So I'm being counseled. I'm being counseled while I'm counseling people. And for the past couple days, we are in our intensive pre-practicum. So we have to do these counseling sessions in front of our teacher and our professor, and she grades it. And when I say they picked the right name for it, intensive, because it's very intense. It's very intense for people watching you, help somebody. And you only can go so deep. It's like you got to be surface because you only have about 15 minutes because everybody has to go, right? And so for me, I was like, whoo, I wanted to go first. I wanted to go first because for me, sometimes the imposter syndrome pops up into my head. Sometimes the comparison pops up in my head. I'm doing the work now. I'm in the work and doing the work, but these things still come up. So when they come up, I have to remind myself that I know stuff too, right? I'm doing the work. I have skills. I know this stuff. But when you see other people, and guess what? Other people do it differently. You have your own unique fingerprint. Nobody else has that. Nobody can beat you at being you. There's only one you. So I have to remind myself there's only one me. Nobody's going to do it the way I do it. I'm not going to do it the way they do it. And that's okay. But I wanted to go first. I wanted to go first because I know those things come up for me when I'm in these large groups. And there are people who are better than me. There are people who, and I'm looking at this, right? I'm like, oh my God. So I wanted to go first. And although we didn't go first because my partner got a little anxious, so I couldn't go if she wasn't ready to go. So we ended up going second. And everything turned out great. Everything was, I got good feedback. I got feedback, period. But I'm glad that the professor didn't allow people to give you like negative feedback, like, talking about you as a whatever. So she was like, no, we're not doing that. I'm the only person that's going to be grading. So, you can just share your feedback, not negative feedback. And I like that because a lot of times when you're in this space and people start giving you negative feedback, it can make you feel away. It can make you, kind of less confident. And so I was like, but the feedback I thought I was going to get from this person I got it the last time, it was total opposite. So I was like, oh, she's like, you did amazing. And you're so present and you're just so inviting and you have this beautiful smile. And I was like, oh, that's really good. But when you get that negative feedback, it's like, oh my God, who do this person think? You don't even know me. So I'm glad. I know I ain't the only one. I'm glad that it worked out the way it did. But nevertheless, we have today and tomorrow we'll be wrapping up. So my Saturday is a little different today, and I'm okay with that. So I'll just do what I got to do when I can do it, and I'm okay with that. I just want to bring awareness to these, to the wound and how the stuff, we have this genetic pain that we don't know. We have this template that we're walking around with. We're dating the templates. We're having interactions with each other's templates. We're marrying the templates, right? When you marry a person, you're marrying their template. It's best to get to know. It's best to get to know them, their family. Like what about your family? Tell me about your mama. Tell me about your grandma. Tell me about your dad. Because we don't know. We don't know what you don't know. That's why dating is gathering information. It ain't getting into bed. Because you get into bed and now you ain't gathered nothing but some sex. And now that's all your body craving that. You craving that from each other. You don't even know each other. Right? It's an order. You wonder why it's an order to do things? This is why. You got to be careful who you have kids with. You got to be careful who you date. You got to be careful who you marry because you're marrying their template. Okay? When you know better, you do better. I wish I had known this stuff. I wish I had known this stuff when I was in my 20s. I wish I had known these things. But guess what? You live and you learn. Everything that happened for me. It allowed me to be the person I am today. So I have zero regret. Okay, I have zero regret. But I'm just saying, I wish I had known what I know now. I wish I had known then what I know now. But new information requires new decisions. This is why I show up. This is why I'm constantly sharing, because somebody needs this. This information, have you ever heard it before? Have you ever heard the way I shared it before? Because I know I'm not for everybody and everybody's not for me. And I'm okay with that. But what I will do, I will continue to show up. I will continue to serve and share what I know. Okay, the way I've learned it. I'm a visual person, so I'm going to have some props for you. I got props all behind me. If you see, I got props. I'm always having props because that's how I learn. So that's how I teach. And yeah, today's going to be an amazing day. on purpose, stay in peace, and just know that, did I